Hi, and welcome to the homework tutorial video for writing the lab procedure. This homework assignment is due on Monday, and it's writing the lab procedure for measuring the density of gold coins. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up the lab procedure template, which is found in Google Classroom. And this is Google Classroom for period 6, but whatever period you're in, it should look the same. You probably in class have already worked on this, where you have written down your title. You can title it whatever you want, your name, date, and period, and the purpose. Your purpose should say something like to measure the density of gold coins to determine if they are real or not. The safety and the materials, again, we went over that in class. And then the procedure that you worked on, which outlines the steps in order that you would perform to measure the density of the coins. For example, your steps could begin with, or probably will begin with, measuring the mass of something, whether it's the mass of the empty beaker or the mass of the gold coins. Now, with that being said, after the procedure, the next part is the data section. This is where many people were working on towards the end of class. And I just want to be clear about a few things on how to use Google Docs to insert a table. So you want to make sure you type in data and you have written here this header. And I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the underlining and hit enter, and now I'm ready to start my table. So part of what we did in class was determine how many columns that we want in the table. So if I go to table and I go to insert, let's say I determined that I needed 6 columns. What I would do is, notice when I tab over, one of the boxes are highlighted. If I want 6 columns, I'm going to go over 6 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see the number at the bottom there. It's 6 by 1 now. And let's say I determined I needed 4 rows. The rows would be for the number of trials. So I would go down 1, that's already, first row is already highlighted, 2, 3, 4. And I have a 6 by 4 table, and then I just click on it and click insert. Then I can put here my trial 1, trial 2, trial 3. And let's say the first measurement I determine I'm going to have in here is the mass of coins. I'll type that in. I type in the rest of my headers, whatever headers that you have here, I'm just going to put in S's all around just so that we see that there'll be some text written here. Okay, so let's say I go and I make my table and I decide, hey, you know what, I need one more column. I forgot to insert a column. So for that, what you're going to do is you're going to click on whatever column you want your column next to. Let's say I want it in between this column here, which is second to last in the last column. I'm just going to click on that column and then go back to table. And there's a bunch of options here. You can insert a row, insert a column. So I want to insert a column to the right. So I'm going to click column, insert column to the right, and notice it gives me another column. In the same token, if you want to delete something like a row or column, again, just make sure, let's say you want to delete a row, like maybe I want to delete this row, which I wouldn't, but let's say I want to do that. Make sure you're clicked on that row that you want to delete. If it's the last row, you go back again to table and delete row, and it deletes it for you. So that's just some ways to use the table system. Okay. Finally, you need to write in your analysis, and that part is really simple. On the handout that I gave you, which I will link in the assignment and also on the calendar. In the handout that I gave you, it had 2 analysis questions. All you need to do is type in those analysis questions right in here. So that pretty much sums up what you need to do for your homework. Everything should be filled out to the best of your ability. Purpose, safety, materials, procedure, your data table all set up, and the 2 analysis questions copied. There shouldn't be any blanks. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email. This is due on Monday, so we can use this lab procedure in our lab on Monday. Hope you all have a quality weekend.